when people have hip flexor issues, the #1 thing they go to is stretching. My point of this video is to show you that you don't need to stretch your hip flexor. You need to strengthen it and work on your hip capsule. The hip capsule is the deeper tissue within your hip. Everyone talks about the hip flexor, everyone talks about their glutes. We're gonna work on the hip capsule first, the rotational stuff, but the rotational stuff in the hip, the stuff I had you do on the table, is deeper within your hip joint. The problem is that if that hip capsule tissue is not sufficient, all the subsequent tissue is scaffolded off of it. So if your hip capsule sucks, which we saw that it did, you struggled with external rotation a lot, you struggled with internal rotation. Because the capsule is restricted, the linear tissue is also restricted. Does that make sense? Because the first domino never fell, all the subsequent dominoes need to fall. So we're gonna train internal rotation on this setup, okay? You're gonna have your leg up like this. Pull is for balance. I want you to see that with my leg still, you are going to rotate your pelvis a little bit around it. We're not gonna go crazy here. I'm trying to provide your hip graded exposure over time. You asked me yesterday or 2 days ago, don't kill me. Right? My job isn't to kill you. My job is to expose you to different positions that you otherwise have not been exposed to. And we'll talk about it. We'll see how much you can tolerate, and then we'll collaborate from there. Okay. Sound good? Yeah. We're gonna do a couple things here, but what I want you to do is start with extending your hip. Think about tucking your butt forward. Now, without this moving, rotate your pelvis towards me, very slowly. Do you feel your hip capsule at all?
And my obliques.
You feel your obliques?
Yes.
Okay, try to rotate from the pelvis more than the spine. So one thing you're likely doing is you are twisting from here, and you're not twisting from here. Okay. I need the pelvis doing the work. Imagine if I grabbed you here and I pulled you from this. I'd be looking for you to find more of a hip stretch than an oblique stretch. And if you can't find it, then that is a testament to how unresponsive your hip is. And that makes it hard to improve, because if the hip can't respond to a stimulus, then you can't improve it. So keep this still, rotate the pelvis to me, and see if you can find some hip stretch. Let's hang out right about there.
I got it.
You found it?
I got it.
Hold it and breathe. Just relax. Remember, we're talking about graded exposure. I'm not sitting here trying to rip your leg out of the socket. I'm trying to just get you used to exposing yourself to positions that you otherwise have not exposed yourself to. Does that line of thinking make sense?
Absolutely.
And so right now, the stretch you feel shouldn't really feel like muscle stretching. It should almost feel like bone stretching. That is internal rotation. I mentioned earlier that internal rotation is deep, like very deep in your hip capsule. That is why it feels like bone stretching. This is something that a lot of people, when they're doing their mobility warm-ups, neglect, right? They ignore it almost entirely. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how intense is the hip stretch that you have?
7.
It's a 7. I like the 7-8 range. If you can rotate the pelvis a little bit deeper, you're welcome to. But remember, I don't want the spine moving. The spine's moving with the pelvis.
Right there.
You found a little bit more out of it. Okay, breathe, hang out there. This is where I could go on a whole tangent about it. I'm gonna talk about it a little bit, I might include it in the video, is that the people who have the worst hips get the least out of these drills because other stuff wants to compensate. You felt how the spine wanted to twist rather than the pelvis, right? And then that makes it harder to improve because you can't receive the stimulus that you're trying to provide for your hip. And so it takes a minute. You have to sit there and be very methodical and take your time and really inch your way into a little bit more of a stretch. So you're at 1 minute and 15. We generally hold these stretches for 2 minutes. Okay, if you can squeeze a little bit more out, get a little bit more, and I assume you don't feel any pinching in your hip, just like a healthy stretch. Okay, hang out with that. You got about 30 seconds. If you feel yourself getting uncomfortable, take a deep breath. Try to relax that fight or flight response. You're gonna feel like your heart rate elevating. You're gonna feel yourself getting a little antsy. I need you to just sit there and think, can I get a little bit deeper? Can I focus on my breath and try to relax in that stretch? And then we're gonna hold that for another 10 seconds, and then I will explain the next part. And so now this is where things get a little dicey compared to what you would typically do. You just spent time passive stretching, right? All we did was stretch. What you're gonna do now is do an isometric contraction in a stretch. So you're squeezing stretched tissue. This is a concept that is reoccurring across every joint in the body. We do this for every movement, okay? Without moving this at all. Because in a moment, you're gonna feel yourself dumping out of it. I want you to lightly press your ankle into the table, but keep your pelvis rotated to me. Do you feel the sensation change?
Yeah.
It should feel different.
Yeah.
Instead of just a passive stretch, like a yoga stretch, it should feel like you're tensing your hip while it's stretched. That is what I'm trying to do. You are doing an isometric contraction, and that's all it is. This is similar to like a wall sit. It's equivalent of like a plank. You're creating tension, but you're not moving. The difference is you're creating tension in a stretch. This is how we break open a joint capsule. Very intentional, it's very uncomfortable. Depending on how sore you get, that will dictate how hard I ask you to push. So for today, you're doing moderate intensity. If you could build some tolerance here, I will tell you to give me 100% balls to the walls effort. Today is not that. Give me like 50% effort. And so keep pushing down through the ankle. So we have the pelvis rotated to me. We have the ankle being pressed down. So ultimately you're like this, and you're trying to do this. Right? You're trying to push the ankle down, but you can't because the table's blocking you. That's what's creating the isometric. Keep the pelvis rotated to me. I'm gonna ask you to give me another 25 seconds, whatever intensity you can handle. Keep pressing down, keep holding it. You got 20. If you wanna ramp it up and start pressing harder, do you feel the hip contracting more?
Yes.
Okay, you're creating more noise in your hip. Breathe, keep your composure, keep pressing down, don't let the pelvis rotate away, keep it towards me, keep it towards me. You got another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, don't move, but relax. You can relax the foot, don't move. So you're shaking a little bit still, just breathe, relax. Now what I want you to try doing is, without moving this at all, attempt to pick your foot up, but don't force it, just attempt to. Do you feel your hip contracting here?
Yes.
You see how you can't actually move? Not a whole lot, you're moving a little bit. You feel a different portion of your hip contracting. Just keep trying. You're not supposed to be able to pick the foot up. It's just tension in the hip. Don't lose me here, keep trying. Yeah, right there, hold it. You see how you're attempting to lift it and you can't? You are doing something called a rail. We're doing PAILs and rails right now. Keep holding, and now relax. You're not done just yet. Big deep breath. Rotate your pelvis to me a little bit more. Do you feel yourself deeper than we did initially? You should feel like you can get like 5–10% deeper. And it's a little bit more comfortable than it initially was, right? This is where I started the video off, where we need to provide you graded exposure, right? And I told you to do a passive stretch for 2 minutes. I told you to press down, not crazy hard, but moderate intensity, right? Just like how if you get a client and you ask them to do weight training, you are not gonna have them do a 1 rep max. You're gonna have them stick in like a high rep range, right? Because they're new to the movement. You're new to this movement. So I didn't have you push all that hard. Now, if you're a seasoned mobility guy, you would be doing this at 100% effort, where you're driving the ankle down, trying to create as much tension as you can. You are not there yet. Over time, your goal is to expose yourself to more tension, okay? Again, one more time, start pressing the ankle down. So we went ahead and worked internal rotation. I mentioned that internal and external rotation are deeper in your hip capsule. We addressed that first because all the other layers of your hip rely on that. We're now gonna train the hip flexor in the lengthened position. I mentioned earlier that people try to stretch their hip flexor, but they don't load their hip flexor. I'm gonna get you to load it by building strength into a stretch. So I'm gonna explain a little bit further. So you're gonna be on a table like this. You could do this on a jump box. You could do this on like a dumbbell bench. But what we're gonna have you do is one leg's up like this. If you have a hard time with that, I can get you a box for your foot. This leg is gonna have a weight on it. You're gonna train the hip flexor through the negative, all the way down until it pulls, okay? Then you're gonna reset back up. And the idea is that this portion is gonna be fairly easy, but when you get to about here, you're gonna feel this wanting to just give out. That is not the objective. The objective is to do eccentric loading to the stretch position. The more important overarching theme is that you're gonna have load on it. We're stretching, but you're doing loaded stretching, because remember I gave you that phrase that strength builds trust, trust builds range. If you're weak as hell here, fine. Graded exposure. I'll give you 3 pounds to start. I don't really care, right? But eventually you need to get stronger. So let's get you on here. Let's see what it looks like. If I need to adjust you, I will. So the whole time you do this, I want you to maintain 90 degrees at the knee. You're gonna feel this happening. Ready?
Yeah.
Set, hold. You can hold onto the table all that you need. I'm letting go.
Okay.
You're on a timer. Very slowly bring your leg down. Hold it though, slow, slow. Don't let it just collapse. Take your time. You are now training the hip flexor to length. We are lengthening this tissue slowly, slowly, slowly. And then I'm gonna pull you back up. Again, 3, 2, 1, hold. Now slowly bring your leg back down, but keep that 90-degree bend at the knee. Do you feel tension in the front side of the hip?
Yeah.
You are eccentrically loading to the stretch position. You're now just doing loaded stretching. That's all it is. Keep going. Take your time. Take your time. You're on the clock. Take your time a little bit further, a little bit further, a little bit further. Reset. 3, 2, 1, hold. Nice. Take your time through the negative. Maintain tension. If I told you, can you squeeze this harder as it goes to the stretch? Squeeze it harder. Resist it harder. Take your time. Take your time. Nice. Don't lose me. You're about half done. All the way to the bottom. This should be the point of emphasis. You should feel this screaming at you at this point.
Yeah.
Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Back up. 3, 2, 1, hold. Take your time, man. Maintain tension. Do you see how you're kind of glitching almost? It's like skipping a little bit. Try to be fluid with the movement. We're training the neurology too. How well does your nervous system use this tissue?
Gotcha.
I don't want to see any glitchiness
Gotcha.
on the way down, right?
I just connect.
You feel the difference though. It's a very deliberate process.
Yeah.
This is where I can't help you anymore.
Yeah.
You have to take ownership of this range, right? The targeted tissue.
Yeah.
I can't help you but cue you anymore.
Yeah.
So keep maintaining that all the way to the stretch. You're doing a good job. Your low back's okay too.
Yes.
Beautiful. Now try coming up on your own. Nice. Slowly resist now. Slowly resist. You got about 40 seconds left. Just continuous tension. And if you wake up tomorrow and you feel pretty good, you can go heavier next time. You can do this for more reps. You can do it for a longer duration. Keep going. Keep going. You're doing a much better job not being glitchy either, right? You feel like you own the movement a lot more. It's awesome. High quality stimulus, man. That's all we're doing is stimulating the front side of the hip. Back up on your own, try. Yeah, I'm gonna help you a little bit. 3, 2, 1, hold. Nice. Bring it back down, nice and slow. Again, we're training the hip flexor to the stretched position. To length, eccentrically loading. Loaded stretching. We got 5 pounds on the foot for reference. Take your time. Take your time. Take your time. Back up on your own, one last rep. Nice, 3, 2, 1, hold. Hold, hold, tighten the core, squeeze the hip flexor. Beautiful. See how much we're shaking there. Maintain your composure, slow, own it, own it. Good, keep the stomach tight, don't extend at the spine. Keep tension here. Think about driving the knee up, but you're resisting the weight. Keep pushing the knee up as you come down. Yeah, man, don't lose me, don't lose me. Don't let the spine extend. Keep the spine flat on the table. Own it, own it, own it, own it. And relax. Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of
There's a couple ways to go about that, but we'll always we always see people like doing stuff like this and stretching, and there's like merit to that. I'm not telling you that's useless, but there's more to how your body moves than just passive stretching, passive range of motion. There are other qualities to movement. You notice that we are building strength. That was 5 pounds. Now theoretically, if we did 7 pounds next time, you are now getting stronger at the same movement. Your body's gonna begin trusting you more. You also notice how when you were doing it, you were kind of like glitching, right? All the way down. I wanna see fluid movement all the way through. That fluid movement means you have better neurology. Your neurology dictates how do you use the tissue, if that makes sense. And that's not something people talk about when they're working out, their neurology, the nervous system. You can see when people have joints that give them problems, they're basically disconnected from it. Part of the process is regaining that connection and then graded exposure where there was no pain and you can manage that and then build that over time. So you're treating this just like any other exercise, progressive overload. right? You want to get stronger on a squat, you get stronger on this. You add extra weight, you do it for longer, you do a slower negative, right? There are other ways to make it harder. It's kind of on you to dictate that, but let's see how sore you get, and that'll dictate the rest of your programming. Does that make sense?
Makes perfect sense.
Let's do the other leg and then we'll move on.
Okay.
Now we're gonna focus on shortening it. Over there, you're focused on lengthening it, right? Loaded lengthening.
Yeah.
What you're gonna do here is hold on to this, lift the knee up. This weight is gonna be on your ankle. You are gonna oscillate all the way to here and all the way to here. Because when people train their hip flexor, they often just do this.
Yes.
The point is your hip flexor isn't one thing. It's a multitude of things. This is your hip flexor. 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 And you are gonna oscillate back and forth until your leg falls, until you literally can't anymore. I'm gonna time you. What I wanna make sure though is that you are not overly extending at the spine to cheat. You're gonna pull your ribs down. If you feel your standing leg too much, you can bend the knee a little bit. That'll help you keep the standing leg out of the equation. And what I'm looking for you to do is glue your hip to this. Hold on to this all you want. If you want this arm to hold this as well, that's fine. Hold on for dear life, because it's gonna be a long set. Drive your knee up. The whole time I want you to maintain this 90-degree angle. Now slowly oscillate the hip to me, but keep your spine and pelvis still. Bring your foot all the way out. You feel the hip flexor contracting. Okay, now bring it forward. Keep it as high as you can. I have you on the timer. You're gonna sit here until the leg collapses. I wanna see you fail. As long as the hip flexors are doing all the work, and your job is to fully shorten them. So you're trying to bring all of this together, and we're just trying to dig as deep into your hip as we can. The longer you go, the deeper you get. You're at the 30-second mark. I wanna see at least 90 seconds. All right, bring the knee up, keep going. Back across the midline, adduct, keep going, lift up, come on, yes, man. Bring it back out to your side now. Don't lose this though. Bring it out. Now back up, don't lose me, all the way across the midline. You're at the 1 minute mark. I wanna see at least another 30 seconds. Keep in the hip flexor. If I said squeeze my pen in the crevice of your hip, squeeze it harder. My pen's being held there, don't lose it. Now bring the knee across, knee up, you're losing my pen. Keep holding it in the crease. Bring it up, right there. All the way back and around. Good. Don't lose the pen, man, knee up, beautiful. Bring it back across the midline. Keep going. Straighten this out a little bit. Right there, hold, knee up. All the way across, you're at 90 seconds. I wanna see 2 minutes now. Bring it out to me. This is the last drill. Ribs down, keep tightening this. Don't lose me. Good, bring it across the midline. Knee up. Nice, you got 10, 9, 8, 7, bring it across again, 6, 5, don't move the body, just the leg, 4, 3, bring it up, come on, 2, 1, and relax. Does that kind of make sense? It's a lot, I know, it's hard, it's really hard. But again, like, people think their hip flexor just does this, but your hip flexor goes out here. And think about like when you squat, your legs are out to your sides. So the idea is that you're training everything the hip flexor does, right? It's just not forward and back. It's that side to side motion as well. Quick to recap, I know your eyes are all big after that. We started with internal rotation on the table, right? We're training how well that capsule can actually move, right? The joint capsule, the deepest stuff. Then from there, we had you train the hip flexor to length, but we loaded it because we're doing more than just stretching. There's more to our hip flexor than just passive stretching. We use the monkey foot to do loading all the way to the stretch, reset you back up, all the way to the stretch, reset you back up. Then we did this drill to contrast it, where you focused on shortening the hip flexor back and forth. So they tackle different components of the hip flexor, the shortened position, the lengthened position. We start with the joint capsule, okay? That is the logical process in how we would go about that. Wow. But again, it depends on the body you bring to the workout, right? If your hip showed me it needed something different, we probably could have gone about that differently. And those are just 3 drills amongst dozens that we could be doing.
Yeah.
Those are what came to mind. Those would make a good video. I knew you needed work on that stuff.
Yeah.
But do you have any questions on that?
Not at all.
Capsule first, training it to length,
Yeah.
then training it short, right? And that's
Yeah.
the thought process generally across the board. You'll see all of us that do the FRC, that's generally how we go about it.
Neuro component.
Yes, the neurological component. Because again, if the tissue's unresponsive, no matter what exercise you do, you're not gonna be able to create adaptation. So that's why I needed you to feel it first. Graded exposure. Do you feel this? Yes?
Yes.
Good. Now, can you do it harder? No? That's all you got? Fine. That's what you do today. Next workout, you can do it longer, more weight, squeeze harder, feel it more, because there's other qualities to exercise that we don't usually give consideration to. Does that make sense?
That makes so much sense. Thank you
good, man.
so much.
That's good. That was really
Thank
good.
you very
Thank you
much.
so much for watching the Bodybuilding Not Body Breaking YouTube channel. If you found it helpful, drop a comment, like, subscribe, share it with a friend or family. That stuff really helps us in expanding our reach to popularizing this training approach, because we know there just isn't a better way to do things. If you have interest in diving deeper into the stuff you just watched, feel free to join our school community. On our school community, we have a lot of additional content. We have an exercise library that has over 200 different movement options. We have programs. We have additional videos that are concepts, lectures, and rants to give you guys a deeper understanding as to how and why we do things. We also have a discussion board where you can get direct access to coaching feedback from me personally. You can also follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok for additional updates for when we post new content. Thank you again for watching, and we hope it was of use to you.